Over the past several years, we have had various state issues. None of them that we've called on have not been responded in a way that was constructive and fair. Just recently, the governor called about this brutal beating that led to death in the Marcy Correctional Facilities outside of Utica, and had those guys fired and moved forward. She was the one that stood up and said that she called me, I was out of town, said, I want to come, I'm going to announce something that I think you should be here for. I said, well, I'll send somebody. She says, well, I'm announcing a commission to study reparations. I said, I'll be on the next plane. She has that kind of courage and that kind of vision. May we welcome the governor of the state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Good morning, friends. It is such an honor to be back here again in a place that all across America symbolizes the continuation of Dr. King's movement. Where else but here, under the leadership of Reverend Al Sharpton, do we talk about our moral responsibility to others? And guess what? We don't just talk about this here. We answer some tough questions. Dr. King spoke literally 2 months before he was assassinated, February of 1968, at his beloved Ebenezer Baptist Church in Georgia. He said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? I say the time for asking that question is over. The time to show your actions is now. And we will continue to stand together and rise up with the moral conscience of the people in this room and Dr. Reverend Al Sharpton, and thank them for all they do. Let's talk about what we can do. I have to ask a question. Are there any moms and dads out there? Any grandparents out there? How are you doing these days? It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. Families are struggling. Hard-working New Yorkers and Americans are struggling all over this country. And what we have to do in government is to acknowledge that and figure out how we can answer the question, how we can lift them up and make their lives better. That is my message from Dr. King from 1968 to now, and I will continue to live that. We answered that question. And I said, as your governor, I'll make your family my fight and put more money back in your pockets to help you get through the stress of everyday life. We're going to do that, and here's how. If you have little kids, $1,000 for babies under the age of 4. Because I know as the first mom governor, it's the diapers, it's the formula. They grow out of their clothes every 3 months. Am I right about that? So these are real experiences that I've lived, and I want to help New Yorkers. Let's help the little kids. Let's help school-age kids. Anybody ever have to get reduced or free school lunch or breakfast? You know what? For kids, that's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? There's a stigma. They feel kind of bad and separated. I'm saying every child in the state of New York gets free breakfast and free lunch, so every little child can never sit in school again with their little tummies growling. I want them to learn. And you've all paid so much because of inflation, right? It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. The cost of everything went up 20% in the last few years. State of New York took in extra money. Our comptroller can tell you that. I'm saying that's not our money, that's your money. We're putting it back in your pockets, $500 checks for families. Those are some of the initiatives in addition to a middle-class tax cut that helps me respond to the call from Dr. King to do something. Not just talk about people's problems, but to let them know there are leaders, and all the elected officials who've joined me here today, extraordinary leaders who understand the pain that people are going through. And we will meet the moment of the day and the challenges that'll start on Monday. I assure you that New York will always be that beacon of hope, the place where the women's rights movement started, the place where the NAACP was founded, the place where the environmental justice movement moved forward, where we protect LGBTQ rights at Stonewall. We are the place that the nation looks to continue the movement started by Dr. King, and we will not let you down. We'll continue that fight forward. Thank you, everyone. Onward and upward.
Governor Kathy Hochul.